ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिके। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 4, Text number 21. So yesterday we discussed about how how Uddhava is explaining that how Lord decided to give him a knowledge which is essential to go back to Godhead, and how he himself showed the way or process through which we can ask for this knowledge. As he said to the Lord, "Oh my Lord, if you think that I am capable of understanding this knowledge, so please enlighten me with this knowledge." And then in the further verses, Uddhavji he says to Vidurji, "Soham tadarsan allada viyogatiryuta prabho gamishye daitam tasya badrya ashrama mandalam." My dear Vidur, now I am mad for want of the pleasure of seeing him. And just to mitigate this, I am now proceeding to Badrika Ashram in the Himalayas for association, as I have been instructed by him. A pure devotee of the Lord, of the standard of Uddhava, constantly associates with the Lord in the double perception of simultaneously separation and meeting. The pure devotee is not for a moment unengaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. Execution of the Lord's service is the main occupation of the pure devotee. Uddhava's separation from the Lord was unbearable, and therefore he started to Badrikashram in obedience to the Lord's order, because the order of the Lord and the Lord himself are identical. As long as one is engaged in the execution of the order of the Lord, there is no factual separation from him. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guruna Vaishnavancha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Varjanasayitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha. So here we can see the intensity of love for the Lord by the pure devotees. Generally, people, when they become little bit spiritual in their life, they think that it's like without understanding the level of surrender or degree or the intensity of a love that they have for the Lord, they try to judge themselves and others in their devotional aspect. But we need to understand, as here in Srimad Bhagavatam only it is explained, that the process by which we can render devotional service to the Lord, or the happiness that you derive, or the level where you have situated, is unlimited. It does not have any restrictions. You can't gauge person just by seeing at him or looking at him. Because devotional service is the affair of heart. It's not the external affair. So to judge someone with his advancement in devotion is very tough. And better one should not do that. As explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigyana Bhujaya. You can't just make out Vaishnava or his activities or his behavior. You can't judge that. Because by your own intellectual understanding, it's not possible to understand their activities. Because it is related with their own relationship with the Lord. And as we have studied in Bhagavad Gita, especially 4th chapter, where Lord says that ye yathamam prapadyante tams tataiva bhajamyaham mama vartamanu vartante manushyaha partha sarvashaha. The way we surrender to the Lord, that degree He reciprocates with us. And here we can see the dedication of Uddhavji towards the Lord. It is uncomparable with anyone, because each and every living entity is individual and has a unique relationship with the Lord. So we can't judge or fix some parameter for them. Oh, this is means this. No. Everyone has a different mood. Everyone has a different test to render service to the Lord. So better respect that person, the process that he has taken, and the way he is reciprocating with the Lord, rather than judging him or putting him on some platform. Although there is a differentiation that you can make it, which is essential also, but that you should not judge it. There is a Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Let them do that. And they have given who will be where, what are the symptoms of that person. So, without knowing that, don't try to make any judgment on that person's devotional achievements. And here we can see the executions of Lord's service is the main occupation for a pure devotee of Lord. And when you look at Prabhupada's life, you will see that how, even though he was in household life also, he utilized each and every resources that he had for preaching. And as in the last line of this purport, Prabhupada says, as long as one is engaged in the execution of the order of Lord, there is no factual separation from Him. Most of the people, they think, how you can feel the Lord's presence in your life? Here is the answer. If you really want to feel the existence of Lord in your life, then just follow His words. Just follow His instructions that He has given to you. And specifically as per your nature also He has given you. If you read Bhagavad Gita, it is the answer of all the questions that humanity has regarding the futility, regarding the fruitfulness of life, and regarding the proper utilization of this human form. Everything is explained. And if you follow that, you are following the Lord, and He is always with you. And this is what practically shown by the pure devotees. Look at Uddhavji. Because Lord and His instructions, they are non-different. That's why Shankaracharya, he has explained in the glorification of Bhagavad Gita, he says that Ya Swayam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmad Vinisrataha Gita Su Gita Kartavyam Kimanya Shastra Vistare Ya Swayam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmad Vinisrataha. Just try to understand Bhagavad Gita. There is no need of elaborate study of different scriptures. Because if you try to study too much, because of our limited intelligence and limitations for grasping the things, we will be not able to understand what exact the scripture says. It may create more confusion. As we have seen in this particular chapter itself, or some few previous verses, where the contradiction in Lord's activities has explained. Without proper maturity, that contradiction may increase your ignorance. You may lose faith in the scripture. That's why Rupa Goswami Pad says, don't read too much. Whatever you read, try to assimilate that. Try to understand that. Take a guidance from senior practitioners, senior sadhakas who are really working hard to make progress in the spiritual life. Take a guidance from a realized soul. And like a Srimad Bhagavatam, as see, if you study properly and hear it regularly, it is clearly explained that this knowledge can be understood through the person who has experimental, practical application of this knowledge in his life. And that's why Shukadeva Goswami was accepted as the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Brahmaji, when he delivers this knowledge to Naradji, he says, now it is your responsibility to represent this knowledge so that the common people can understand. Vedas or scriptures, they are considered as a mata, mother. Unless and until you approach mother with affection, it will be not possible to understand her. So same way, if you approach the scriptures with humility, with a dainya, then you will be able to understand the scriptures. And to prove the importance of the scriptures, Lord has sent His devotees. Because the words of the Lord, they are understood by devotees only. That's why Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, भक्तोसी में सखा चेति रहस्यद एतद्धि उत्तमम. Hey Arjuna, I'm giving you knowledge because you are my devotee and friend. So the Lord's instruction can be understood through the pure devotees. You may read it, but not necessarily that you will understand that. We read newspaper also, and we read some philosophical books also. What is the difference in that reading? Or nowadays, social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, huh? We read from there also, and we read something from scripture also. What difference is there? Both is reading. See, from the social media, social circle, newspapers, magazines, whatever we collect, as you said, that exactly true. It is a data. Unless and until the data get processed, it's not useful for you at all. But when you read scripture, that is the information which changes your heart. It transforms your personality. So there is a gulf of difference. It's a huge difference of reading you. And scriptures also, if you read it in the association of devotees, if you discuss with them, then it is more and more enlivening. It's more and more giving you wonderful taste. You can relish it. That same thing will not happen with the newspaper. You don't like to read the same news what they have printed yesterday. No, we just thrash it out. But scriptures for thousands of years, they are in the written form, and same topic is discussed. And every day people are reading it, enjoying it, relishing it. Why is it so? Here is here is just data, and here what you have, the transformation of your heart. That happens because of the Lord's wonderful pastime that has explained. Because each and every time you will realize a new thing. Like we are reading Bhagavad Gita for like 2 decades. But whenever we sit and again start, like the shloka what I just quoted from, Ye yathamam prapadyanti tam sateva bhajamyam. Every time you feel something new, some new aspect is getting clear to you from this particular verse. Maybe some new level that you have reached in understanding of this particular verse. And maybe hundred of times you have read that or heard about it. But when you read it again, you will feel that, oh, something new. Actually, I think last time I overlooked this particular aspect. Now, this also has explained here. So, that is a revelation of knowledge. And we can understand just by reading, you will not understand the Vedic knowledge. It should be get revealed in your heart by the Lord. And how does that happens? Generally, when you read it in the association of devotees. That's why it is said that bhajan kriya needs association. You can't do nirjan bhajan because we are not on that platform. Otherwise, general people they think, hey, Baba, it's enough. I will go to Vrindavan and do my bhajan. Unless and until you get free from anarthas, you can't do bhajan properly in isolation. That's why it is said, Adav Shraddha, Tatha Sadhu Sangha, Tatha Bhajan Kriya, and then Anartha Nivritti. In the association of devotees, when you do Bhajan Kriya, then that takes out anarthas in your heart. And here we can see how when devotees they come together, they discuss about the Lord. See, whatever principles, sutras, formulas they are given in Bhagavad Gita, you will find in Srimad Bhagavatam, each and every chapter, they are revealed through the devotees' behavior, their way of life. Generally, we hear that Lord explains in Bhagavad Gita that the qualities of my devotees, they are like a machita, madagata prana, bodhayandi paraspata. Kathayanta shamam nityam tushanti cha ramanti cha. Huh? So that shloka is very much precise for this particular situation where the conversation between Uddhavji and Vidurji has explained. When these two devotees, they came together, what they did? Machitaha. Their mind was totally absorbed in the Lord. So what they spoke about to each other? Vidurji asked about the Lord, about his wonderful pastimes, which he has not known for days or months together because he was on travel. So he came and immediately he asked about Lord's wonderful pastime. And when Uddhavji started telling that, then we can realize that how he was relishing it. Uddhavji, he started directly from the birth of the Lord. So he started remembering everything from the Lord's appearance. And each time when he was explaining the Lord's particular pastime, he was realizing something else from that. And that is was Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. That's give them pleasure. Most of the people, they ask full-time devotees in the temple, what do you do all day? It may be surprising. No? What they have to do? Just get up at a Mangalarti. After Mangalarti, what they have to do? Maybe up to 8 or 8:30 they have some engagement. After that, what they do? But you can't understand unless and until you become full-time. Unless and until you dedicate your whole life for the purpose of preaching. Because working for the senses and to gratify our own senses and taking care of our own family, where you are self-centered. And when you are in temple, who is the center now? Krishna. And his radius is unlimited. Your radius at your home is limited up to your immediate families. But here the radius is unlimited. You don't know how further it can go, how long it can go. What will be the vast portion they have to do it. So when you try to compare someone's service to somewhere else, what you are doing? You are doing the thing which will just create mess in your mind, nothing else. So better to appreciate what they are doing and let them do that. That's more important. Because here Prabhupada says, execution of the Lord's service is the main occupation of the pure devotee. And Prabhupada says, I want pure devotees. This institute is made or started to create pure devotees of the Lord, to make a pure devotees of the Lord, who can use their whole occupation for pleasing or satisfying the Lord, or to executing his services, or to executing his orders. So this is what we can understand from this purport. So any question, any comment regarding this?
What are the symptoms of pure devotee?
That's a vast subject actually. But to make it short, if you read 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, from verses 13 to 20, Lord has explained the symptoms of his pure devotees. If you want, I can read it. It's you are asking about the pure devotee. That's why I'm giving this only, because uh, other places also he has mentioned the lakshanas or symptoms of devotees, but specifically in this chapter, why I'm saying, because this chapter Lord has explained about pure devotion. The name of this chapter itself is Bhakti Yoga, and at the last, after explaining 12 verses, Lord now explaining another 8 verses about the qualities of the person who has executed the devotional service and who are practicing devotional service. So who is practicing devotional service is definitely a pure devotee. So what are his qualities? He says, Adveshta Sarva Bhutana. The pure devotee, he is non-envious. Sarva Bhutanam. Anyone and everyone. He is not envious of anyone. Why?
Samodarshi.
Yes, because he knows the relationship between Jiva and their Lordship. He knows each and every Jiva is part and parcel of the Lord. So if I offend this Jiva, whom I am offending? Lord. If I have an envy towards this Jiva, then with whom I am having enviousness? To the Lord. And if you are envious of someone, Lord says, you will not get this spiritual knowledge. Anusuyave. Arjuna, I am giving this knowledge to you because you are accepting it anusuyave. You don't have any asuya for anyone. You don't have an envy for anyone. That's why I am giving you this knowledge. So the pure devotee, he understands that if I envy someone, definitely the doors of Lord's mercy will get shut for me. And if they are closed, there is no way of any progress in spiritual life. And that's why he is Adveshta Sarva Bhutana. Then what is his position for other living entities? Maitraha Karuna Evacha. He is friend to equals, and Karuna, he is merciful for lower than him in the consciousness. So he feel compassionate towards the fallen souls, and he is friendly to the devotees of his same caliber. Nirmamo nirahankaraha. Nirmamo means with no sense of proprietorship. Nothing is mine. Exactly. See, he had worth of $400 billion empire, but he was not attached to that. That is what nirmama. And because he does not have any sense of proprietorship on anything, he is nirahankaraha. He does not have any ego. Here, ego means false pride. As once Prabhupada was giving lectures somewhere in California in one of the college, and he was explaining the Chaturvarna system. Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras, these are the 4 classes of a human society. Then all of a sudden one student, he got up and he said, Swamiji, I have one question. Prabhupada said, yeah, what's that? Which class does you belong? And Prabhupada very humbly said, I'm a fifth class. I'm the servant of all these classes. Can you imagine? One Acharya. Acharya of such a huge institution. And what he is explaining in front of thousands of students, that I am the servant of all this. Who will try to do that? The person who does not have a pride in his heart. Again, going back to the verse that we are discussing today, the last line, immediately it struck me. When one of the Prabhupada disciple, he asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, uh, what made you to survive in these adverse conditions in the beginning of society, ISKCON, when it was established, or before establishing this society? Prabhupada said two things. One thing, my unflinching faith in the holy name of the Lord. And second thing, the instruction that I carried out, which was given by my spiritual master. Because I never felt alone. I always felt association or presence of my spiritual master. That made me survive and go further with all the adversities that came in my life. And same thing here says, when you are following instructions of the Lord, means you are always associating with the Lord. So when you are following the instruction of your spiritual master, means you are associating with spiritual master. So Prabhupada has given such a clear understanding. Most of the people, they think, oh, I have taken initiation, but I am not getting association of my spiritual master. Yes, yesterday we were discussing. You were saying that I have taken initiation, but I don't have a association of my spiritual master. But here Prabhupada says, how you can associate? Just follow his instruction. If you are following his instructions, he is always with you. You will feel his presence. And it happens, it works. When you do get attached to following the instructions of spiritual master, you will feel presence of your spiritual master each and every moment. Prabhupada has shown it by his one example. See, another example of how this nir-ahankara. Once they were glorifying Prabhupada, oh, you have done such a big thing, you know. Then humbly Prabhupada folded his hands and he said, actually, I have not done anything. My spiritual master has sent me such a wonderful disciples. Actually, you people are doing this. What I am doing? Nothing. My spiritual master has sent you so that I can serve him better. This is what nirahankara. This is what nirmama. Then sama dukkha sukha kshami. Sama dukkha sukha kshami. He is always equipoised, whether there are happiness or whether there is a suffering. And he is ready to forgive anyone and everyone for anything may happen. That is what kshami means. Santushtaha, and he is always satiated. His heart is always satiated because he is always engaged in the service of the Lord, and to render service of the Lord is the fulfillment of all desires. Santushtaha satatam yogi, and santushta satatam. Satatam means always, constantly. Why he is santushta? Because he is yogi. Yogi means connected. If someone is always connected with the Lord, definitely he will be santushta. His heart is satiated with that relationship with the Lord. Yatatma dhrida nishchayah, dhrida nishchayah. And who is determined, who has an unflinching faith in the Lord. Why he has that? Because Mayi Arpita Mano Buddhir, because he has offered his own mind and intelligence for my service. Mad Bhakta Same Priya, and that is my devotee and he is dear to me. So these are the qualities of a pure devotee. Then further he says, Yasminno dvijate loko lokanno dvijate ch yaha harsha harsh bhaya udvaigair mukto yah sa cha me priyaha. He says that he never gets agitated, even though people want to agitate him, he never gets agitated with that. Why he don't get agitated? Because harsha, amarsha, bhaya, udvegaha. He is freed from happiness, a sense of happiness, amarsha, a sense of distress, a sense of fear, and udvegaha, disturbance. He is freed from that. That's the qualities of a pure devotee. Yasmin sthite dukkhena gurunam api avichalyate. When someone is situated on that platform, whatever big amount of suffering comes, टस से मस नहीं होता है. Not an inch he moves. Because Maya Arpita Manobuddhi. Because he has engaged his mind and intellect. Because these are the two things which gives you feeling, willing, thinking, contemplating and everything. Through which you can feel distress, happiness, everything. But if they are engaged in Lord's service, sure. Sure. So this is what. And because of this particular qualities, Lord gets attracted to them. Then further he says, Anapekshaha. He does not desire anything. And again, this word, we will going to understand it in this canto only. See, what is the highest desire you may have when you are practicing devotional service or practicing spirituality? Not devotional service, just saying spirituality. Generally, people, they wanted to practice spirituality because they want a liberation. They wanted to get rid of material sufferings. But that apeksha, that desire also not there with the devotees. And Lord, He Himself glorifies His own devotee. He says, Sayuchya, Sarupya, Sashti, Samyipya, Salokya. Deyamanam na grihananti mat sevaya vina. Even though I try to give them this 5 kind of a liberation, they don't want that. Bhukti, what is that? There is one nice shloka actually. It comes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Bilwa Mangal Thakur has mentioned that shloka. There he says, when you start rendering devotional service to the Lord, Bhukti and Mukti, they stands at your doorstep with the folding hands. And they ask you, please give us chance to come and serve. And that's why devotee is anapeksha. He don't have any desire. The only one desire that he has to serve their lordship, and he is already doing that. So what else he want of this material world? Then Suchir. Shuchi means pure. He is pure in his thoughts, deeds, in relations. He is pure. There is no contaminations. Dakshaha. Daksha means expert. Being a devotee of the Lord, they knows the Lord, so they knows everything. Look at Prabhupada. Then you will understand what is meant by Daksha. Expert. Whatever he did. Because ultimate motivation to please the Lord. When you have that intention or that only desire to please the Lord, automatically you are blessed with all the facilities, all the comforts, all the necessities that to fulfill that. It may take little bit time, but you are provided with that. And best of the things you will get when you have a desire to offer it to the Lord. Even in the worst situations also, you think that I have to offer the best for the Lord. He will make arrangement. You don't have to do anything. You have to just desire that I wanted to do it. And I have seen in my personal life, I have seen devotees, they desired and they wanted to do this for the Lord, and Lord has provided that. He has fulfilled their desires. As His Divine Grace got a instruction from his spiritual master, whenever you get money, just print books. So he had a strong desire. So he started 1944. He started with the Back to Godhead magazine, and now we can see billions of books has printed and sold. How does it has happened? He had a desire to serve their lordship through his ability, which was shown or exposed or explored by his own spiritual master. He said, you can do this. So he has given this specific instruction. And that's why you need a spiritual master in your life. Because you don't know what capacity that do you have, which can be used for the Lord's service. To recognize that and to boost that particular quality, that is done by the spiritual master. That's why we need. And spiritual master is none other than their lordship in visible form for you. Lord is there always as a Chaitya Guru in your heart. But he comes in front of you in the form of a spiritual master to explore the hidden treasure that you have, which you can utilize for the Lord's service. That's why you need a spiritual master. Because they are expert in using the things in Lord's service. Once Prabhupada was waiting in the lounge on the airport, and few devotees were around there. And all of a sudden, one very famous person who was that race cars are there. What do you call them? Sports cars. One driver or the what do you call them? That driver only or what something else? Driver only, because he also drives that sports car, and he was a very expert guy. So one of the devotee came and said, Prabhupada, he's a very famous person in this particular. I said, okay, call him. So he came and sat. And then Prabhupada had a discussion with him almost 2 hours on the cars. All devotees, they were surprised how much Prabhupada knows about the cars. Because Prabhupada had the passion for that car when he was Grahastha. So those days he had his own car. In British era, he drove his own car in India, which is considered to be a really opulent or to drive a car in India in those 30s and 40s. And he had and he had a great discussion with him. And that person was also very much, he said, how much this old man knows about. So he was also exploring himself and things are coming out. And the last, Prabhupada asked him, when you drive so fast, is there any fear in your heart? He said, yeah, there's always fear in my heart. And then Prabhupada started with the preaching. And it went another 2 hours. So they are expert in utilizing everything in Krishna's service. So that moment is the discussion between him that ended up with the spiritual topics. So devotees, they may start from anything, but they ends up at the end, which can brings that soul back to the Lord. That is expert, Daksha. Udasino gatavyataha. Udasina means, what you can say? Udasina. In what? Yes. He is udasina for material sense gratification, for the worldly affairs. He does not have interest in reading newspaper, reading magazines, seeing movies or seeing BBC News, National Geography, this and that. He is udasin for that. Sometimes maybe for the some little bit information he can see that, but he is not attached for that. Like people are craving, no? Oh, this serial, it will start at 8 o'clock. So they'll leave everything aside and they'll jump on that. Huh? Now this sports show is there, so they will take off and they will go for that. Just like that's the life's goal. But pure devotee is not much interested for all this material hodgepodge. And gatavyataha. Gatavyata means uh, vyatha means sufferings, distress. Gatavyata. So he has gone out of the distress now. Why distress are there? Because you have apeksha. If you desire something and it is not fulfilled, that gives you vyatha. That gives you dukkha. And pure devotee, he doesn't have anything. So he is beyond that. Sarvarambha parityagi. Whatever he starts with the renunciation. He never gets attached to things which he is doing. He is doing it as his own duty. Whatever result it may come, he is not attached to that. So sarva arambha parityagi. In the beginning only he has decided that I have to give up this thing. This is not what the ultimate thing for me. Ultimate thing is the pleasure of my Lord. And this is what makes them superior to everything. So all the kings, great kings, Maharaj Yudhishthira, Ambarish Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj, who else is that? Harishchandra, Raghu, Dilip, Ashoka, all they are known for this. Because before becoming a king, they will already renounce. They are doing it in a renounced attitude. They were ruling in such a way that they don't have to get attached or entangled in that particular activity. And that person, Sarvarambha Parityagi, who has decided to give up this thing in the beginning itself. Yo na harshati na dveshti na shochati na kankshasi shubha shubha parityagi bhakti manya same priya. Neither he rejoices, never he gets envious of anything, or never he gets he never laments for anything, because he never desired anything. Kankshati. Kankshati means desire. And Shubha Shubha Parityagi. Whether it is a Shubha or Ashubha, he doesn't cares about that. Because everything in this material world will come and go. Nothing will be there permanently. Because change is the nature of this material world. Then why to bother? Something good has happened, definitely some bad is going to come also. Just prepare for that. One of our devotees, he always used to say, whenever we used to prepare for some festival, or someone has to prepare for some seminar or anything, he used to say that prepare for the best, but always be ready for the worst. That keeps you balanced. Otherwise, you will get shocked. You prepare the best and something worst happens. You are totally shattered then. But keeping in mind that this worst may happen, you should be prepared for that. That is called expert actually. Only expert can know how and what has to be done. Then he says, Sama shatrocha mitrecha tatha mana apamana yoho shitoshna sukha dukkheshu sama sanga vivarjitaha. He is equal to his friends and enemies, whether he get honored or whether he is dishonored. As someone is equal to heat and cold, so same way he is equal to insult and honor, dishonor, everything is same for him. Why? Because he is Sarvaramba Parityagi. Because of that guna, this other qualities come. So one quality is base to develop other qualities. So one is there, that automatically rest will follow you. Want to say something?
Always two things is very hard. One is insulting tolerance. That is very hard. Another is samasatra.
Bro, we need to work on it because we are not that pure.
Just listening is good, but we have to practice. It's
Yeah.
not for one
So
mistake.
when you will practice, when you will try, take a one step ahead. When you get insulted, try to compose yourself. See, again and again you read it. Why Vyasadeva has written all these things? Because we forget to remind us again and again. These things has given in the written form. And see, if seriously you want to make progress in spiritual life, we need to work on these anarthas.
My
Today, tomorrow, whatever it may be, but at least we should have attitude towards the Lord that my Lord, I want to change. If you show that desire, He makes it comfortable. It makes it comfortable. Because He is longing to take you back home, back to Godhead. So He will provide. Okay, step by step. See, not to glorify myself, but what was I before 10 years? One of my senior godbrother only told to Krishna Bhakta, is that the same person who was with us in our ashram and now? If you stick to the process, that will keep you on track. That will push you forward. But just be in the process. And it's a great achievement. At least you came to know that this is what very difficult for me. Few people even they don't understand. These are the problem with them. This is the one step that you have gone ahead, that at least you have realized these are my problems. It seems that it's very easy for me to preach, but practice is difficult. At least you have come to that realization. That's good. If you know that, you have got that much intelligence, the further Lord will provide you. See, one thing, if you really understand, nothing is permanent. You will not get bothered about this honor, dishonors. Maybe today I'm honored, and you and me have seen how many great scholars and great personalities there, as we were discussing yesterday, that they came and they had so much of pomp. Where are they now? Are they there? Then why to get attached to the things which are right now with you? Today it's mine, maybe tomorrow someone else will take that. Someone is honoring me today, tomorrow he may going to curse me. That's the nature of this world. That's why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say, this place is not meant for the gentleman, because situation is not always same. So just get rid of that. Finish it off. Contemplate on this. As it is said that butterfly, how it becomes a butterfly? Caterpillar, it keeps contemplating on that form. Then he becomes. So same way, see, why we do these all prayers? Because we know this is not my real heart, what I am praying. Huh? But this is what actually I want. By praying again, and again, then that becomes your natural prayer. That becomes your natural understanding. Really, this is what I want actually. This is what I want actually. And especially if you read this Maharaj Kulashekhar's prayers, this is my experience about that. When you read them again and again, you feel like it's you are praying to the Lord. This is what is your condition. Maharaj Kulashekar is on such a highest platform, he does not need to pray in this way. These are the prayers of mine. When you read songs by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, especially that Gopinath song, if you are really sincere, you are really serious, it will tear apart your heart. You will not stop crying when you sing that song. But this is what your position. That's not Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He's putting ourselves there. He's putting our shoes in his feet. For him, he's always with the Lord. No need for him to show that sort of a vyatha, that sort of a separation. This is what we have to realize. And if you keep reading again and again, you feel like that, oh, I have to. I have to. It will come. Otherwise, why Lord will write? He wants us to get purified.
I'm just saying to myself. But
Yeah.
I'm never saying impossible. Everything is possible. That's why written. You have to practice.
But at least you have come to good conclusion that this is what my anartha. At least you have recognized that. That's a great achievement. You see, most of people, they don't understand this. They don't work on this. If someone says that, they get red and blue. But at least that honesty is there in the heart. Hey, this is what I'm. This is what my problem. To speak it in the public, it's not a joke. To say that I'm having this problem. How many dare to do that? We don't even ready to say that in front of our own wife with whom we are staying at home. Forget about speaking in the public that, oh, this is what my problem. Who will dare to do that? The person who has honest desire to change. And God will help. Then further he says, Tulya ninda stitir mauni santushto yena kenachit. Aniketaha sthiramatir bhaktiman me priyo naraha. See the word that used here, aniketaha. What is that? Without any residence. This is what makes troublesome for general people to take up Krishna consciousness. Because Lord clearly says that He likes people who are aniket. And they are not. And if they want to serve Lord, they want to get attached, He makes sure that they become this. Padashitanam samasta choram. Karoti bhikshuk pati gehahinam. If you really wanted to surrender their lordship, He makes sure that you get detached from everything. And what is the greatest attachment? Is house, your own immediate family. Putra vihinam graha shunyam. Or in other reference, it is said that bharya vihinam graha shunyam. If you don't have a wife, you may stay at home, but that will not become a house. That you may stay at the house, it will not become home unless and until wife is there. And you may have a wife, but if you don't have a son, then whole thing is zero, does not have any value. That's why Lord makes you zero, aniketaha, does not have a home at all. So no family, no jhanjat. And that makes you sthiramati. So someone is desiring to have a tranquil mind, he should leave home. Then he will get the sthiramati. If he is aniketa, he will be sthiramati. Mind will be stable. And then bhaktiman, then that big person becomes possessor of devotion. So these are the qualities that Lord has explained about His own pure devotee. ये तो धर्मामृतम यदम यथोक्तम पर्युपासते श्रद्धाधाना मत परमा भक्तास्तेव अतिमित्रे. Those who follows this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with a faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. So these are the qualities. And this is what we can find it in Srimad Bhagavatam. Each and every canto is explaining about these qualities only. And how these different devotees, they have shown by their own example. This is what needed. Thank you for asking that question. Because again, I got a revision for this. It's really worth to discuss about these topics. Because every time you will have some great realization for this particular word. ठीक है? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की